Time now for my review for the bottom dollar bounties update for GTA Online. Available on current gen PS5, Xbox Series, last gen PS4, Xbox One, as well as PC. We're going to go over the pros, the cons, my verdict, and I want to know your pros, cons, verdict regarding the bottom dollar bounties update below in the comment section. So before we start, I want to go over the poll I posted on my community feed. By the way, thanks to everybody that voted. I did kind of a tier list of sorts, a tier poll. How would you rank the bottom dollar bounty update? So here we go. We got at S tier, 5% voted S tier. I don't know if that's a legit vote or is that a troll or joke vote, but okay. 6% A tier, 28% B tier, 39% C tier, and 23% D tier. So I would say the majority vote goes somewhere in between B and C tier for the bottom dollar bounty update. So there's some stuff I like about the update, and there's stuff I don't like about the update. That's the way it usually goes. I try to be fair. I try to be even Steven, even if I do have more cons than pros at times. And I feel like that the bottom dollar bounty update will be no exception as we head off into the pros. New content. It's always nice to get new content in GTA Online, even though it's over a decade old now. A bit long in the tooth. And obviously the majority of the staff and developers at Rockstar are focused on GTA 6, hopefully still coming fall 2025. A much smaller team is most likely behind the content for GTA Online, despite the fact that the game probably still makes pretty good money for Rockstar and Take-Two via shark card sales as well as GTA Plus. But still, it's nice to still get some quality of life and new content added to the game. We got the bounty hunting business as well as dispatch missions via the police cars, and a continuation of our interaction with Vincent, and most players like Vincent. I like the fact that this adds additional value to the police cars that we've been able to purchase since Chop Shop. They did add some additional police vehicles in this update, and I think they're dripping out 2 more vehicles before it's said and done. So yeah, that gives you a little bit more to do with the police cars besides just driving around with your sirens on, RPing. Even though it'd be nice if we had some actual police uniforms, Rockstar. Oh yeah, I'll get to that soon enough. But yeah, we can at least do some dispatch missions with the police cars. And, doing bounty hunting, thanks to Maud and her daughter Jeanette. And a variety of bounties to choose from. Standard bounties, most wanted bounties that rotate daily. So yeah, it's good to have, some more, I guess, RP to do in GTA Online. We also got new vehicles as always. A pretty decent amount of day one vehicles, including the Yosemite 1500 that I'm driving around. I'll talk more about this in the cons. I do like the look of it. Reminds me of like Silverados, Sierras from the 90s, 2000s era. But we also got the Paragon S, Euros X32, the Ubermacht Niobe. I think that's one of the best new cars in the game as of right now. The Envisage, along with the Coquette D1. It's a very nice looking sports classic, by the way. We got, like I mentioned, 3 new police cars. I think my favorite of the 3 new police cars has to be the Greenwood police car. I like that one. We also got the Dorado SUV police car and the Impaler Z police car. There is drift tuning added to 3 vehicles, such as the Nebula Turbo, the Sentinel Classic wide body, and the Ubermacht Cypher. So that's good for all of you that enjoy drifting in GTA Online. And I think the big reason why drifting is good in GTA Online, especially the drift racing, is thanks to Rockstar's acquisition of 5M. And I think there's a few things that they've been cherry picking from 5M, repurposing, retooling. And it wouldn't surprise me if we continue to get that going forward from GTA Online to probably GTA 6 Online as well. There were some payment increases, not all across the board, but certain things got payment increases. For example, open wheel races, taxi work, Super Yacht Life, lowrider missions, along with Operation Paper Trail, the Casino Story missions, along with Gerald's Last Play, Madrazo's Dispatch services, Premium Deluxe Repo work, and Project Overthrow. I hope that eventually they go back to the OG contact missions, which I still enjoy playing every now and then, and increase those payments as well somewhere down the road. More good news for drift and drag race enthusiasts. These modes have been added to the creators, so there should be some pretty decent drift and drag races coming to GT Online thanks to the creators in the very near future. And one pro that I want to mention right now, especially when it comes to a lot of the businesses that involve CEO/MCs, where you have to register, and all too often you forget to register, and it tells you you have to register. I like the fact that they made it easier to, at the table, at the desk, in the chair, switch to either a CEO or an MC before you start up the bounty hunting or the nightclub or the executive office, etc. So that's definitely a quality of life improvement, in my opinion. Apparently, the Sparrow got a buff, so that's always a good thing. I love the Sparrow, along with the Buzzard helicopters. We have other quality of life improvements. Some of them are pretty good. Others kind of questionable. We'll get to those soon. And the future content that is coming thanks to the Bottom Dollar Bounties update. A few more vehicles being dripped out, such as 2 more police cars. We're getting a Pizza Boy, pizza delivery, Fazio, so we can do some pizza delivery RP in GTA Online, so that'll be interesting. Coming up in Halloween, they've been building up the Halloween event every year. But this time around, we're actually going to finally get to go to North Yankton, well, the cemetery in Ludendorff. And that will be interesting. I wonder if we'll get a Brad cameo. Now let's dig up some cons, shall we? Because there are quite a few cons to this update. The bounties and the dispatch work. It's good to have them, but they start to feel repetitive very, very quickly. There's only a certain number of dispatch work. I mean, there's different locations for each one, but you'll get through them pretty quickly. And by the way, there is a 5-minute cooldown in between each dispatch job. And you can only do the dispatch work solo, which kind of sucks. It'd be nice if you could go in with at least a partner. But there's only a small handful of dispatch work for you available as a police officer. And that's another con. Police uniforms, Rockstar. It would be nice if we could do dispatch work as cops and unlock some police uniforms, whether they're LSPD or Sheriff's Department or like the San Andreas Highway Patrol, as well as other police uniform drip for us to unlock and purchase while doing the dispatch work in our police vehicles. I still don't know to this day why we cannot legitimately buy police uniforms. We used to have ways of getting police uniforms all the way back to one of the Hasta La Vistas from Heist back in 2015. But every time we try to get a police uniform, it seems like Rockstar will do everything in their power to stop us from getting police uniforms. And this is the perfect time for us to have police uniforms in the game for the dispatch missions. And speaking of drip, bounty hunting has no drip for players on last gen or PC. Now, there is, I guess you could say, technically 2 pieces of clothing that you can get on PS5 and Xbox Series through Career Progress. One is the Bottom Dollar Bounties jacket. It's a decent-looking jacket. That's Tier 1. And then the Tier 3 outfit is the Bell Enforcement Agent outfit that you've seen in the screenshots. That takes a quick minute to acquire. It's not impossible. But these are the only 2 pieces of Bottom Dollar Bounty clothing that players have access to, locked behind the criminal progress and only available to current gen players. I was expecting a bit more variety here when it came to Bottom Dollar Bounties, maybe a regular like t-shirt where you maybe like different colors, white, black, etc. Maybe some baseball caps that have the logo on it, and a variety of other outfits. I know you can technically take outfits and clothing in the game already and create your own cosplay bounty hunter outfit. I'm just saying that it would have been nice to have more police uniforms and Bottom Dollar Bounty outfits for players instead of the 2 Bottom Dollar Bounty clothing items locked behind Career Progress only for current gen players. Sticking with the bounty hunting property, you only get 2 vehicle slots with this property. You don't get 10. You don't get anything more or less. I know we already have a lot of garage spaces and vehicle slots already. This time around, we can only store up to 2 vehicles in our bounty office. 3 of you include the transporter van, and there is a lack of customization for the van. You can put armor plating on the transporter, which I recommend, and there's 20 different respray options, but that's it. There's no other upgrades that you can get. It would be nice if we had the ability to customize the van to some degree. Even better, why is it that this is the only bounty vehicle that we can have access to? At the very least, it would be nice if we could also unlock a bounty hunting SUV, where it was a 4-seater, but in the very back, that's where you could store your bounty. Instead of having 2 players hanging off the side of the bounty transport van, which can be easily shot up by NPCs chasing us, are knocked off by cars, or just fall off for reasons, or badly hurt because we happen to get in a crash or roll over, I would prefer us being able to eventually unlock a bottom dollar bounties like SUV type transporter that has a bit more customization options. The van is okay as a starter vehicle, but it would be nice if we had some additional things we could eventually unlock to improve our bounty hunting business. And a variety of different agents to choose from, because you can hire up to 2 agents, but you get the same 2. It'd be nice if we had a bit of customization there, Rockstar, for a little bit of variety. Now, one more thing that would make the bottom dollar bounties better if we had, a stun baton day 1 in the game to use along with the stun gun. And by the way, if you want the stun gun skin for bottom dollar bounties, it's once again locked behind career progress, exclusive, you guessed it, to PS5 Xbox Series players. But there's also supposed to be a stun baton that's eventually going to be dripped into the game. Why was this not added day 1? It puzzles me that Rockstar is choosing to drip the stun baton instead of releasing it day 1 along with the bounty hunting business, because it might be useful for bounty hunters to help subdue their targets and bring them in alive. Because the stun gun, yeah, you have to free aim that, and sometimes they'll move out of the way right when you open fire with the stun gun, and the recharge on the stun gun does at times take a quick minute. It would be awesome if we could just simply use a stun baton to knock them out. But unfortunately, we're going to have to wait before that eventually gets dripped out. Now, before we move on from the police, dispatch, bounty hunting, cons, one more revolves around the police vehicles. They are sellable. However, as Rockstar has honestly pointed out in Warstock, if you sell the police vehicles, you will get $0 back for selling them. Why are we not allowed to get a certain percentage of our money back, money that we spent on these vehicles? That's been a thing since the launch of the game back in 2013. Most vehicles you can buy and you can sell to recoup some of your money. There are unsellable games. Unfortunately, there also are unsellable vehicles in the game. And I did a rant about that a long time ago. That's just a sad reality. I think that all vehicles should be sellable. But when it comes to the police cars, even the trade price is expensive, not to mention all the upgrades and customization that you're going to have to do in order to get it looking the way you want your police cars to look. Yet we can't get any of our money back if we decide to sell one of the cop cars that we no longer want. Just seems kind of a criminal, Rockstar. The next con is revolved around an app. So this Vinewood Club app is only found on PS5 Xbox Series. Now, some of you on last gen and PC might be thinking, oh, great, another thing that only PS5 Xbox Series players get access to. But the problem with this new app, which allows you to do a few things, claim business earnings is the big selling point, as well as, well, you can purchase ammo from your interaction menu, or request car club vehicles and purchase car club vehicles. This is the big thing here, the big quality of life thing regarding this particular Vinewood Club app. That'd be awesome. Instead of having to go to the safe of all of our businesses, we could just do it all at once. As you may have noticed, it says you must be a GTA Plus member to use the Vinewood Club app. In other words, they have locked this new feature behind a freaking paywall. Unbelievable. It's bad enough that they have risen the price to $8 instead of $6. Yeah, they keep adding stuff to it. It seems pretty apparent that Rockstar is doing everything they can to try and force as many people as possible on PS5 and Xbox Series to finally break down, relent, and fork over $8 a month for GTA Plus. And I'm sure it'll get worse when GTA 6 Online comes out. As much as I like the idea of claiming business earnings from your phone as a quality of life improvement, shame on you, Rockstar and Take-Two, for locking this behind the GTA Plus paywall. Speaking of so-called quality of life improvements, the Bambushka buff is a joke. Gilly Master did a video on that. Several others have as well. I would have, but I wasn't going to waste money on the Bambushka, so go check out their video. One would think a big, giant Russian bomber from the Soviet era would be a lot more difficult to take out of the skies, especially after this so-called buff. Another quality of life con, in my opinion, that really made a lot of car enthusiasts in the game, including Bruffy, scratch our heads. He did a video about this one, the Impaler Z. It was a sedan, and it was apparently a top-tier sedan. The sedans don't really have that many vehicles in its class, compared to, say, I don't know, sports cars, supercars, muscle cars. The Impaler SZ is a four-door, which is pretty much what qualifies a sedan, right? Coupes, two-door, sedans, four doors. So it made sense for the Impaler SZ to be a sedan. Well, guess what Rockstar decided to do for reasons? They switched its class from sedan to muscle. And now it's a mid-tier muscle car at best. And I say muscle, quote unquote. Rockstar has once again misclassified a vehicle in the game. And it's hilarious to me because it was correctly classed to begin with. And then they go for no reason and reclass it. There are so many vehicles in this game that are in classes that don't make sense, and I've done a few rant videos on them in the past. Like, for example, a truck rant video, because we have obviously a lot of trucks in the game. Like, I don't know, this thing, I mean, off-road, okay, you can kind of get away with calling this an off-road, but I would prefer the Yosemite 1500, the Sadler, and all the other trucks in the game to be in a truck class. But unfortunately, we do not have a truck class. Some are classified as off-road. Others are classified as SUVs. And others are classified as muscles. It just doesn't make sense, the classing system of vehicles in GT Online. And there's a ton of muscle cars in the game. That's the other thing that I don't get. You didn't have nearly as many sedans as you do muscle cars. The Impaler SZ was fine where it is. Why did you move it, Rockstar? Now, this is a quality of life, a quote-unquote improvement that a lot of people really, really hate. And I don't really use it as much, but I know people that did. You know, sometimes with hilarious results, but, you know, sometimes some cool outfits were made thanks to the infamous telescope glitch. Pretty harmless glitch. And there was a time, a long time ago, Rockstar said they would not remove harmless glitches. I consider the telescope glitch to have been a harmless glitch. Yet, for some reason, a decade later, they decided to, out of nowhere, patch the telescope glitch. I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of petty on Rockstar's part. And it's unfortunate because I would like the ability to be able to customize all the different clothing items to our heart's content. Hats, glasses, jackets, shirts, pants, shoes, etc., without them being locked to certain clothing items or this or that. I hope that that's not the case with clothing items in GTA 6 and 6 Online. Okay, so I do have one more quality of life, quote-unquote, improvement that is a con. And it is so strange that I have to include quality of life improvements as cons. And this is something my friend Red told me about when I was streaming on Xbox on Sunday. The tow truck missions. Right, you know the tow truck missions with Chop Shop. You could do 2 tow truck missions back to back, and then there would be a cooldown because you only had like the base version of the tow truck of the Chop Shop, Red's Chop Shop. I know my friend Red the 8-Bit Dinosaur, also Red Chop Shop, whatever. So you can like go do 2 tow truck missions, and that's it. You have to cool down until the vehicles are broken down, and then you can go do 1 or 2 more eventually. Rockstar was not happy with that. So they went and put a cooldown after getting one tow truck mission complete. Why? What are you doing, Rockstar? Nobody was complaining about having to do 2 vehicle tow truck missions before a cooldown. Oh, gee, I really wish that we could just have 1 vehicle and then a cooldown and then eventually get to do the other tow truck mission and then another cooldown. Because doing 2 back-to-back is just too much, Rockstar. Another quality of life, quote-unquote, improvement that does not make sense and is 100% a con, in my opinion. I don't know who's doing the quality of life improvements for the game, because there have been some pretty good quality of life improvements like we talked about in the pro section with the ability to quickly switch to CO or MC right at the desk of the executive office, the bounty hunting office, and all the other offices as well, right? That's nice. It's awesome to have that. But these other quality of life improvements don't make the game better, Rockstar. You lied, Rockstar, but what else is new? We shouldn't have been too shocked by this. They said months ago when they first announced this update by teasing the car, right? The supercar that's being early access to GTA Plus members by a week. I think it'll be available Thursday for everyone. Yay. I hear it's not even a good supercar anyways. It doesn't look like a good supercar, so I'm not going to waste my money on it. They said that this was going to be a big update. After playing through a great deal of the update, the bounty hunting, the dispatch, and seeing how repetitive it can be, no, this is not a big update. This is an average update at best, Rockstar. Yeah, is it better than some previous updates like Criminal Enterprises, Mercenaries? And the big reason why so many of us say that the Mercenaries update is worse is because Rockstar infamously took out nearly 200 vehicles off the vehicle websites. I would say the Chop Shop update in December last year was better. This one, not as good as I was hoping. And a lot of people are saying this is like Red Dead Online bounty hunting at home, which is pretty sad because the bounty hunting came to Red Dead Online on September 2019, back when Rockstar was actually updating Red Dead Online with content. And it wasn't the only role that they added. They added the collector role, they added the trader role, but a lot of people really enjoyed the bounty hunting role in Red Dead Online. They even did like an expansion update to the bounty hunting role, and I thought they were going to do that with other roles in Red Dead Online, but Rockstar decided to mosey on. And one final con that I'm going to add here before we get to the verdict, I promise it's coming, is one vehicle in particular. I know we could probably rant about every single vehicle that was added for the most part, with maybe 1 or 2 exceptions. I want to talk about this truck, the Yosemite 1500. If you grew up in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, in the South especially, or in America, you probably saw quite a few people driving a 90s, 2000s era Chevy Silverado or GMC Sierra, basically the same thing. What's interesting about it is not the look. The look's fine. It looks good. It's a decent off-road vehicle. Should be a truck. But what I find unacceptable regarding the Yosemite 1500, and this is a problem with a lot of vehicles in the game now, is the price tag. This truck in GTA Online costed $1.2 million. Let's rewind time a little bit and cite a couple supercars. Once upon a time, we had the Adder as the top tier supercar, roughly $1 million in the game. Then let's talk about a car that replaced it as a top tier supercar for a while in the High Life update, the Zentorno, $700,000 car. A little bit cheaper, but it became one of the best supercars in the game for over a year before the Osiris and then the T20 in 2015. $700,000 for the Zentorno compared to $1.2 million for the Yosemite 1500. How does this make sense, Rockstar? Are you telling me that a Lamborghini in real life is cheaper than a 90s 2000 era GMC Sierra / Chevy Silverado? You have got to be kidding me. Anyways, pros, cons, time now for the final verdict. Just like a lot of you voted in my tier poll, This is an average update. It's not a great update, not by a long shot. I would say the last really good update we've gotten was the contract with the return of Franklin. And that was, almost 3 years ago, back in December 2021. And it's unfortunate because Rockstar, like I mentioned at the end of the cons, this was supposed to be a big update according to Rockstar. It was not. And it's sad because there is some fun to be had with the bounty hunting, with the dispatch work. And I really wish there was more to both, especially with dispatch. I was thinking that they would just give us some, along with those other dispatch missions that we have, some basic cop stuff, like pull over cars and, just what you would expect, from a vigilante style missions from the older GTA games. But it's so repetitive and there's so much copy pasta in this update. I know that's nothing new with the last few updates because Rockstar is focusing most of their efforts on GTA 6. They have a very small team probably focusing on GTA Online, and they're doing the best they can, so this is no hate towards the team behind GTA Online. I know they have a smaller budget. I know they're limited. I know at the same time, this game has been out for over a decade now, and they've done a lot of content, a lot of updates, a lot of jobs to GTA Online, and they've reached the very bottom of that barrel. Now they're just putting out content to hold us over until GTA 6 and 6 Online come out. So it's unfortunate that this update could have been more, but it really does feel like bounty hunting and the dispatch missions are the bare minimum. Two separate updates that were stitched together into one update. We know about the Cops and Criminals update that was scrapped back in 2020 after the tragic death of George Floyd and the riots that occurred in 2020s. So what they did was, they being Rockstar, they repurposed a lot of that years later, the police cars into the Chop Shop update, more police cars and dispatch. Between Chop Shop and this update, they dripped out the Cluck and Bell farm raid, which was pretty decent, giving us some redemption for Vincent. But I think a lot of us were expecting a bit more when it came to bounty hunting and dispatch work in GTA Online. I get that this is a live service game. It has been for over a decade now. I know that Rockstar and Take-Two has made money off of copies of GTA 5 sold, as well as standalone copies of GTA Online for PS5, Xbox Series, shark cards, as well as GTA Plus. I understand that. However, I feel like this game still probably makes Rockstar and Take-Two a lot of money. More than enough money to justify better quality updates, especially since all you're doing now, Rockstar and Take-Two, is giving us 2 updates a year. One in the summer and one in December. You've been doing that for quite a few years now. And it's just been, since contract, it's just been average at best. With a few good things here and there sprinkled into the game. The rest of it is more of the same copy pasta that's gotten rather old and moldy at this point. If the staff behind GTA Online is not allowed to have the budget or the tools to create better bounty hunting missions, better dispatch, I think what Rockstar should do going forward till the end of the quality of life for GTA Online, till GTA 6 comes out and 6 Online, hopefully fall 2025, is go back to the way they did things in 2014 with, a small update every few months with some new cars, some clothing, some basic quality of life improvements, some actual quality of life improvements, not the ones that were in the con section, and maybe one decent size update in December. A Michael update. That would be awesome. That way, the small team behind GTA Online, before they get moved over to 6 Online, would have had a bit more time to work on and improve the bounty hunting update, instead of us getting something that's very shallow, very repetitive, and didn't really feel as tested as it should have been, because there are NPCs during some of these missions that literally look like they're being teleported down from the Starship Enterprise. Now I want to know your pros, cons, views, opinions, and verdict regarding the bottom dollar bounties, and how do you think Rockstar could have improved this update? Your thoughts, views, and opinions, welcome, as always, below in the comments section.